become champions in that series, in the Club Sport Series this season. So congratulations to Jeff and Sven and all the other drivers of the Huge Jazz Porsche. So we see Dimmel now starting to set the pace, more what we would typically see in one of these races. He's starting to walk away with it a bit here. Got a 2.5 seconds. The real battle, though, is back there for third. I think that's where we need to keep an eye. Bueller is hounding Franklin. Franklin having none of it. Franklin determined to stand on the steps tonight and doesn't want anything to do with Cuddly Lobster there in fourth. As the 5th place running Australian in the VW sponsored plain white liveried 320 car follows closely there in 5th. So that's probably one of our best battles, other than, let's go back. Can we take a look at the Thomas Ellison battle? It looks like there's about 7 of them going for one position back there. In 11th?
Yep, we're watching that right now. It's like Babcock is leading that group. He's got a little bit of a gap, and then Ellison, Clank, Barker, and Cofford are all right there.
So this is what I would say is the battle for the mid-pack. We have Babcock, and this is right at about midfield, so it doesn't get more mid-pack than midfield. Babcock starting to pull
right now.
Oh, yep. I guess this is a little bit early. I'm not sure what Clink's thinking, but maybe he's worn the tires off it. The youngster has shown some speed, but sometimes just not able to stretch it all together on race night.
Ellison has a bit of a moment into turn 1 there. He manages to keep it under control, but he loses a good bit of time.
And so Barker and Cofford are able to slip by. That allows, now he's fighting with Thacker and Smith. Looks like Tom's just having a little bit of trouble get to that Team Huge ass car hooked up tonight, but let's get back to that front battle though with Franklin. I think that's something our fans definitely want to see.
Yeah, that is one of the closer battles.
Yeah, so Bueller hounding him every corner. The Pennsylvania Dutchman has to look in his mirror. Oh, and here we go, Bueller side by side, but does Bueller want to go by, or does he just want to bother Nate? Looks like he's ready to race. There he goes. The Cuddly Lobster starting to get away. And here comes, oh, the Australian. Oh, man, he slips by. 2 for 1 special down there at the final corner, it looked like.
That was
quite a move. Here goes Franklin. Here goes Franklin. Nope, Franklin thinks better of it. Just going to stay in line, close it up, because Alvarez is coming along. Starting to get close to the pits time. So I expect that we will see some stops, maybe at the end of this lap for some of our front runners, but this will be the tail. If they pass the opening this time and go for 7, we know that they're at least on a 3-stopper.
And it does look like Alex Clank has retired the car, so it was not an early pit strategy for him.
Wonder what happened there. Must have been some kind of damage he got earlier in the race. You know, really glad to see Alexander back from the Road to Recovery program, but now he just needs to get his races in a recovery program. Like I said, good speed out of the youngster. Glad to see him back in the paddock after those problems with substance abuse that he had earlier in his career. But yeah, he'll get them next week. So the 320, I'm sure, is staying out probably, well, definitely for 7, maybe for 8. Bueller, I wouldn't say he's known to be easy on the fuel, but he's a racer and will do what he needs to do to be competitive. So, but Bueller's pitting this lap, and so does Franklin. Kind of surprised to see this. Haynes continues on. Oh, Dimmel's on pit road too, surprised with Tyler. So it looks like Haynes is the only one that was able to stay out there on lap 1 so far that's come by the stand. Let's see. I'll keep my eye on pit road. Alvarez is in. Bart's is in. Blanton's in. Crawford's staying out, so Crawford's playing the fuel mileage game. Clark, Babcock, Barker, Ellison, Thacker, Verhulst, Fawcett, and here comes Cameron, and Klink is showing still on the track.
I'm sorry, I took that back. I take that back. I must be missing some data here.
And guessing all these guys had to have already pit. Yes, John Patrick. So David Haynes with the big gains, going to try to stretch it on fuel farther than the other guys. Crawford's in that same boat. So let's see if Mr. Crawford and Mr. Haynes can use this alternate strategy to make something happen that wasn't there before, which might be a win for David Haynes and maybe a podium step for Crawford, because Crawford, was just, I think he was too far back to be talking about a win. But if this strategy lets him stand on the podium, then good call by the boys on the wall.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's had about the same time on pit road. 41 seconds on the pit lane, 10 seconds-ish stopped.
Yep, so that's right around what our recon in the paddock was telling us. Here comes Haynes this time into the pit road. He expected he will surrender the lead back to Tyler and Dimmel. It'd be interesting to see where he comes out with the Bueller-Franklin fight. All right, and Crawford already being caught by Dimmel. And Crawford is going to hit the pit road this time. And so I would say our best battle is going to be back with the Bueller-Franklin-Alvarez battle here.
We'll watch Haynes coming off pit road here as his car is still up on the jacks, but I think he's about to drop. As that group does go by him there.
Wow. What happened there, I wondered. Well, I guess he took tires and they didn't, and that's the difference.
That's a possibility, and a slight... I'm not sure if it took longer. It wouldn't have taken that much longer to fill the fuel.
No, definitely 18-second stop for Haynes. Looks like some damage. I'm not sure how many fast repairs tonight. Probably not enough for every stop, so...
He and Bart's,
thinking no more than 2.
Yeah, he and Bart's are starting to tangle here, but I think Haynes is going to go ahead and hold on to that position.
Yeah, I don't think Bart's is going to want to race him right now. Better just to save our equipment, get it to the end. Bart's is running a smart race here. It's good to see. All right, so let's recap it from the top. Your leader, Sven Dimmel. Sven right now has worked it out to about a 4-second lead over the California kid, Jeff Tyler. And then if we look another 5 seconds down the track, we have the cuddly lobster himself, the man from Clearwater, Alexander Bueller. He has now opened up the gap on Nate Franklin by about 2 seconds. And Nate has his hands full with Alvarez. And as Nate gets it in the wall right there, it sounded like coming off the final corner. Alvarez really digging here. He was 4/10 faster the lap before. Let's see where he's at this time. Alvarez 6/10 faster that time. Have to believe that if Franklin doesn't find something soon, Alvarez is going to get him and take up the hunt on Bueller.
He's reeling him in quickly.
Speaking of reeling him in quickly, David Haynes starting to get back into this battle. Came out of the pit stops quite a bit farther back than we thought, probably due to the damage, and he just had a longer stop, about 8 seconds longer than everyone. Luckily, he was able to get around and build a little bit of a gap, so he didn't quite fall 8 seconds back, probably about 5. So still in the hunt here for top 5. David Haynes in 6th position in the plain white VW livery.
But he's already closed that gap down from about 3 seconds to Alvarez to about 1.7 right now.
Yeah, I have to believe he's going to be around both of those guys and up to Bueller before the end of this race. So Dimmel smoking the tires, watching up front, and Dimmel through the gravel. This time around, we'll start lap 10. We think that'll be about 14 left. So we could see someone do their next to last stop now. We've seen cars go 7 laps. So, but you don't want to cut it too close with Sven. Sven's known to enjoy doing an extra lap just to hurt other guys' strategies. All right, so it's still Dimmel, Tyler, Bueller. They've all kind of settled in and got away from who they're racing. There's about, it's the leader, 5 seconds, second place, 5 seconds, third place. Nate Franklin has picked up the pace, though, a little bit here. It looks like he got the message that Alvarez was catching, so he picked it up 2 seconds faster than Alvarez that time. Alvarez, feeling the pressure from Haynes, got in the wall there in between turns 1 and 2 on the oval. Here comes Haynes, bringing the fight to Franklin. Franklin lighting up the tires here through these tight turns.
Haynes was about 1.5 seconds faster than Franklin on that last lap.
Yeah, I think Franklin's got a message from the wall. They're starting to give him lap times, tell him what they need. You know, they're telling him he's running 45s, buddy. Need you to go a little faster, doing 46.8s. And I need some more. This is probably our best battle here at the front.
Haynes trying to make a couple of moves there, putting himself into a position where Franklin can just go ahead and take that position back. See if he can make a move down the front straight here.
I believe he will. I think the draft will come into effect here as they reach over 160 miles an hour before getting on the brakes and doing the long slide down to 75 miles an hour. There they go, side by side. Haynes round the outside, round the outside, round the outside. Now he's on the inside, going both ways. David Haynes. Of course, that's nothing new for David Haynes. He'll pass you wherever he has to pass you. And now he's starting to try to stretch it out here. Franklin fighting back, giving the look, keeping the Australian guessing. Pennsylvania Dutchman doesn't want to lose much ground here. Doesn't want to mix it up with his buddy from south of the border, Antonio.
Antonio is staying close to this fight here, making sure he doesn't lose the draft.
Antonio with a very good run. Antonio has good runs everywhere. Oval tracks, road racing. You know, I think one of these days he's maybe a future champion. He's definitely becoming a front runner more and more often. So now we see Haynes starting to slip away. Looks visually to me that he's closing down that gap on Bueller. Let me take a look at that. Looks like he is. So Haynes is about the same distance he's been from the leader, but Bueller's starting to slide back to him, if that gives you kind of a mental image. And here we go. I think it's pit stop time. I saw some cars going on the lane there. Looks like our leaders are still out on the track.
I think the only two that should be coming in are Clank, who is coming up pit road right now, and Kyle Smith, who is not quite to pit road yet, but he's getting close.
Yeah, not sure what strat they're on, but you know, like Roger Penske says, go to the races. You'll see all kinds of things. And I see one car, Justin Lamons, lapping the oval. So that's interesting.
Bold choice. Got our eye on Aaron Thacker right now. It looks like he just made his way past Alexander Crawford. Let's see if he can hold on to that. Going pretty wide through turn 1 there. Thacker's tires are a good, 2 laps older than Crawford's. Crawford was able to stay out that extra lap. But I'm not sure that it makes a lot of difference right now. Crawford turned a really rough lap the last lap of 149. Whereas Thacker was running a 147.5.
Yeah, that Thacker-Crawford battle is another close one that we have. I'm keeping my eye on that Alvarez-Franklin battle as well. It's been very spicy.
Yeah, flip the live view back to that one.
Trying to think of what's a spicy Amish dish, but
I don't believe that exists.
All right, so here we go. Franklin and Alvarez both diving for the pit line.
Yep, Sven Demmel also on pit road. Jeff Tyler as well. Bueller right behind them. Looks like David Haynes was able to stay out for another lap here.
So we would expect Haynes, even if he's getting the same fuel mileage this stint, since he went 1 lap further last time, to be able to go 1 lap further this time. But will we see him go 2 laps further, you know? Be able to stretch that extra lap twice. Right. And there we go. I guess that's Demmel already out, back onto the track. There goes Tyler. And next off the Jackson B. Bueller going towards the line here. So that's who Haynes is racing in my mind, is Bueller.
Ooh, look how close Franklin and Alvarez are coming off pit road, right on each other's bumper.
Yeah, Haynes took the tires the first time, I believe. Looks like Demmel, Tyler, Bueller, Crawford, all those guys on tires that last time. I guess Crawford still hasn't stopped twice yet.
I think Crawford's going to be able to do at least 1 more lap on this stint.
Right.
Verhulst is out on his 6th lap right now. He came right behind Alvarez and Franklin as they exited pit road.
Babcock with a good run, up in 10th, coming off the pit road right now.
Let's see if Haynes heads down pit road this time by.
I don't think you will, but that's why we're watching, because we don't know what's going to happen. And he doesn't. So I think Haynes will pit next time by. That will leave him about 9 laps. You know, we know he can do 7. I just don't see how he can do 9. I guess, you know, everyone's going to have to pit. He'll have to take less gas. Maybe that'll be an advantage.
Yeah, his pit stop will be real quick. He's only going to have to take a couple gallons to get to the end.
And you can see there, David Haynes. The next car ahead of him is Tom Ellison. That is the tail end of the lead lap there. That's 19th position.
Ellison goes a bit wide there.
Then
cuts the corner a bit.
Yeah, but I think he'll be able to keep himself ahead of Haynes here.
Yeah.
Until Haynes comes in for the pit stop, and then things resume normal scheduled Sven Demmel time. So Sven Demmel last time by about 20 seconds behind Haynes. The delta's around 35, so we don't think that'll. Oh, actually, the lane time is 49, but I think the lap difference is around 35.
Yeah, and Haynes won't be on pit road for 49 seconds this time. I don't think. We'll see.
Yeah, I think it'll be 42. I think he'll just go fuel only these last 2 stops. So Ellison was able to stay ahead. Oh, but Haynes is going to have someone going in the pits there ahead of him. I don't think it'll be a problem, though, for him. It'll be Shane Cameron sharing the pit lane with David Haynes. So Haynes is now in. Let's go run down through the field here. These top couple positions. We have Sven Demmel. He's going to resume the lead. Sven's coming there onto the main straight right now. Behind Sven, will be Jeff. Jeff is, I don't know, how many seconds back is Jeff now?
He's
about 7?
We'll find out here in just one
About
moment.
6.
It's
about 6.
Yeah.
And then behind Jeff will be Bueller, and this is who I think Haynes is racing. So let's see here. Bueller easily by Haynes. Haynes still sitting on the jacks. Guess Haynes is going to take tires the first 2 stops, and then maybe not for the rest of the race. Probably just a splash on the next one.
Looks like he is going to maybe pop out right in front of Franklin and Alvarez. Yes, he does.
And so this will be interesting. I think that's going to be our best battle right now. Will be this. Let's ride along with Alvarez here in 6th position. As you can see here, they swing out wide. Oops, Franklin throws it 2 wheels in the air. Hear the turbo whistle and the pop-off valve whipple.
Alvarez using all of the available track and a little bit more.
Yeah. Alvarez and Franklin been pretty evenly matched. Looks like Franklin has the slight advantage here. But Haynes definitely has a pace advantage over these two. I think we'll see him pull away, start to close down that gap on Bueller. It's going to be interesting to see how that strategy works out. Who gets the final step on the podium? Speaking of interesting strategy, just looking, here's some stats. This is Crawford's 8th lap. This will be, I think he'll be in this time, but he did 8. This is a lap further than Haynes, so he's on. I can hear him sputtering, but it's 8 to go this time, so I think Crawford's going to do it on 1 less stop than the rest of them.
Yeah, he may get himself in a really good position here.
Right, and it's too late for anyone to change their strategy to cover him.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be the only one that is going to try to pull this strategy off. Everybody else is going to be having to take a splash at the end.
He was about 36 seconds behind the leader last time, 46 this time, but he was going slow down the lane. That's right about a whole pit stop's worth of time. So this is going to be interesting. I think it's going to be a 3-way battle. Crawford, Haynes, Bueller. We got the traditional strategy with Bueller, which I never thought I would say that. Typical normie, basic bitch strategy. Bueller is going to be up against Haynes with the stretching it and Mr. Crawford with the super stretch. So this will be interesting. Dimmel, though, with 11 minutes to go and about 7 laps, works it onto the front stretch.
Takes out those cones for the umpteenth time.
Right. And here we go. Sven Dimmel with a 7.5 second lead over our one-time champion, Jeff Tyler. And even a big gap, Mr. Bueller, he can just see Tyler up ahead.
And almost the same distance back from Bueller as David Haynes. About 7 seconds now.
From there, the gaps start to tighten up a little bit. Franklin closer to Haynes than the cars ahead of them are to each other. And Alvarez, just about the same gap back from Franklin to Haynes. Little bit bigger gap, though, back here to Klink. Now, Klink being on this alternate strategy, not sure how it's going to work out for him. Let's see, where's he at now? 5 laps in. I guess he'll have to pit when these guys do.
He's only one lap ahead in strategy right now.
I guess he's pretty much neutral to these guys on strat. So they do have that lap traffic in between him here, though. Shane Cameron. Don't think that'll be a problem. Daniel Bartz, he's running a little farther back, about 15 seconds off of Klink. He can't really see the battles ahead, but I'm sure his pit wall is keeping him abreast of it. Further back from him is Dylan Blanton. Blanton can see Bart's, but it's just, I think it looks like everyone back here is really starting to struggle for the handle. Probably just hoping to get in, get some tires. Back in 10th, though, we have Jordan Babcock. Babcock, not one to ever struggle with his tires. Always very gentle on the tires. Knows how to get it the most out of the car without driving it too hard or wearing it out. So that's what you want in a driver. Someone that can take care of the equipment. If that's what you want, Jordan Babcock's your man. So Babcock with this strong run up here in 10th place. Pair this with his teammate Nate Franklin, and this is going to be some good points in the team championship. All right, so a little bit farther back from Babcock will be Chad Clark, but let's keep an eye on well, Chad Clark is probably one of our best battles. So Chad Clark and Kyle Smith, yeah, let's keep an eye on them. Chad there popping a wheel in the air. Smith's all over him. Just as it's heating up, Smith's going to dive on the pit road. So now we expect it's going to be 6 to go here for Smith with 8 minutes left. This should be an easy fuel number for him to make. All right, so I think that we'll see Dimmel down the lane this time. Couple corners to go here.
As he makes his way through turn 1 of the usual road course, but the last turn of this road course, or the bike version, and he is on pit road.
Like a typical German, just on time. Precisely on time, I guess I should say. And there comes Tyler. I think Tyler's making up a little bit of time here. He's not losing any. So, and that's as good as making time on Dimmel.
As Haynes goes by again, and we'll go ahead and take over the lead for the moment.
Yep, Bueller on the same strat with our front runners. Franklin and Alvarez coming in as well. Klink following them down. Klink racing, trying to get up in that Alvarez-Franklin battle after a mishap early in the race.
He's running some fast laps, 145s.
Oh, and Dimmel with a bit of a mistake there coming off the pit road out into the grass, but with these GRC cars, it was able to handle that.
Catch a little replay of that as he gets it a little bit loose, but is able to hold on to it.
And so Tyler with 1 second, well, 1.4 seconds less time spent stopped on pit road. You know, that's not enough to erase the 7.5 second gap, but it will do a bit to take a bite out of it. But the problem is Tyler came out in front of lap traffic. Oh, wait, never mind. That's not Tyler being hassled. Tyler's even further back. That's Cameron and Ellison, and they're racing for DFL. So
as Cameron goes a little wide into the wall there, but he's still moving along. Yeah, Tyler is about 8.5 seconds behind Sven right now. It looks like he was about 2 seconds, well, 1.5 seconds slower on pit lane there.
So Haynes will just be completing his 5th lap on this tank this time. Expect him to stay out till the very end. Just take the splash.
But the person we really need to keep our eye on here is Alex Crawford. He's on the 3rd lap of his stint. Let's see if he can make it all the way to the end.
Yeah, it's just how slow will he have to go to get there. You know, to save the fuel, he's got to slow down a little bit. Mm-hmm. So will it be too slow?
Yeah, how sputtering will his engine be on the last lap?
How slow can you go? It's almost like limbo for racing. But David Haynes enjoying his time out front. Dimmel, very tidy though, through the twisty bits. So let's run through the lead lap. Here we have David Haynes, your leader. through strategy, this will change, but right now he's 11 seconds ahead. Second place, Sven Dimmel out of Germany. Sven Dimmel is now running second. A little bit further back, Jeff Tyler, about 19 seconds off the lead last time by. Further back from him in fourth is Bueller, Alexander Bueller, the cuddly lobster from Clearwater. In fifth is Franklin, who has taken command of the battle with Alvarez and Klink and asserted his dominance and pulled well ahead of that. Looks to be clear of it and, you know, setting sail for the finish. Alvarez a little bit further back, 41 seconds behind the leader, was battling with the aforementioned Franklin earlier. Looks like he lost some time through the pit stops. Franklin very good on the numbers, gained about a second and a half there. Now Alvarez is battling with another member of the huge ass squad, Mr. Klink. So Klink giving him quite the battle here. This is one of our best battles on track. This is for 6th and 7th, which will be probably 5th position at the end of the race. Well, maybe not. Probably about 6th position at the end of the race, honestly.
Yeah, we'll find out.
But it's not over yet, with about 2 to go for these two. Behind them and currently in 8th position is Cofford. Not sure that Cofford's going to be able to use the pit strategy technique to get on the podium, but he is running 8th, which is 2 positions better than where he qualified.
And it does look like he's really saving fuel, running a 149 on his last lap, which is, you know, 4 seconds slower than what Sven Dimmel is running right now.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard for him to stay ahead of Bart's at that type of pace. I guess the real question is, can David Haynes make it to the finish? Can he if he can do it, I don't think Dimmel can catch him. I think that Haynes now has a big enough lead that he could slow it down to 149s.
Yeah, and he's been pushing pretty hard, running a 145.9 on his last lap. As he comes around the front straight right now. Let's see.
Oh, he's coming up. There we go. Yep. So Haynes with 7 laps, right on where he's been. Going to come in for a splash here. We believe this will be the last. I think Dimmel will get the white flag this time by. No, they didn't show it, but he'll be back. He won't. I think the caution or the checker will be out before Dimmel can get back around. I think it was just Flagman's a little confused with the pit strategy here.
Yeah, I'm not seeing.
Oh, there goes Haynes. Very quick stop though with Haynes. Will he make it out in front of Bueller? This is the race, folks. The final step of the podium. Alexander Bueller, David Haynes on alternate lines here with the Joker line almost, and Haynes not able to do it. Oh, Bueller can now see him. Haynes ready to take the fight to the cuddly lobster. Here we go. This is our battle. The final step on the podium. Oh, Bueller really not making any mistakes. Very tight lines. These two battled for a win earlier this season at Okayama. Had some contact there, but plenty of mutual respect. Expect great racing here. Oh, and Haynes, I don't really know what that was. It looked like he was setting it up for a slide and thought better of it. Is Haynes going to be able to work his way around the out? Oh, there's just a bit of a shot into the back of Bueller. Bueller, we know, can take a shot. I've seen people try to crash Bueller multiple times and never successful. So up ahead, Sven Dimmel is going to be your winner as Sven Dimmel crashes crossing the line.
Oh, it looks like Haynes has taken the position, but he's going to give it up. Let's just see if we can get a replay of what happened there. Oh. Oh, I see.
As a bit of a time penalty, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. He shortcutted that whole turn there, so that's what happened.
Yeah, I don't think that was so much gentlemanly as not getting your scoring card ripped up by the stewards.
Right. Well, Jeff Tyler is in the fence. That's interesting. But maybe we can get a replay of what happened there. Okay.
All right, as the car's continuing to finish, there comes Cofford across for 8th. Here comes Blanton for 10th. Let's see, your last car on the lead lap is going to be Mark Antonucci.
We'll watch the 11th position Kyle Smith come across the finish line. Chad Clark right behind him. Then Jordan Babcock another 4 seconds back.
Let me see if I can get our podium a word with our podium here.
As you can see, we've got the results on screen right now. Should have
David Haynes, Alex Albert, Michael Derby in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I've got a copy of you fellas.
The Cuddly Lobster snuck out of the paddock again on us. So as the 4th place finisher, we wanted to have a quick word with you. Great battle there. We saw different fuel. You know, you really stretched out the mileage. We thought maybe you were going to stretch it on that final stint and be able to do that last lap. You know, maybe slow down the pace. You had such a big lead. Did that cross your mind?
No, it ended up going 1 lap less than I thought. So I thought I had 2 laps at the end, and then I was about halfway through the final fuel stint when I was like, no, I can't stretch another lap out of this.
Well, good run tonight anyway. We saw that you went through the grass there on the last lap. Was that a desperation move, or just the car caught you out a bit and had to take a trip through the grass to save it?
I caught a slide, and that was the only way I was going to keep it pointing in the right way.
Oh, all right. Well, thanks again for having a word with us, and congratulations on your 4th place run. David Haynes, everyone. All right, Jeff Tyler, this is Alex Albert, Michael Derby up in the broadcast booth. You got a minute?
Hey, guys. Yeah.
So good run tonight. Saw some great battling there in the early part, but then it looked like the German just had a little bit too much pace to contend with. How say you?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely it. I just didn't have quite enough pace to really catch him. And yeah, that's why in the opening laps I felt like I had to kind of, had to get in there and mix it up a little bit just to try to get him off his line, get him off his rhythm, and hopefully try to keep him behind me. But that didn't last very long. Eventually he got back by and checked out. So, but yeah, it was still a really fun race, and congrats to Sven. Good win.
Yeah, and good result to you and to your team. Is there anyone you want to thank?
Just you guys for broadcasting. Really appreciate it, and look forward to watching it later.
All right. Well, that's your 2nd place finisher, Jeff Tyler, out of Arlington, Virginia. Jeff Tyler. So let's see if we can grab Sven real quick. Sven Dimmel, Alex Albert in the booth. Do you got a copy?
Yep.
Hey, Sven, another great win this week. Looked like Jeff was going to give you a bit of a fight there in the early running. That give you any concern?
I mean, I knew Jeff was quick. He raced at this track with me before in BGFX. I knew he knows the place well, and he has the pace. It was really close in quali until I did my perfect lap. And yeah, he could pressure me for a while in the race. It was not easy to get by him.
Yeah, it looked like you were almost able to push it an additional lap. Just came up a few seconds short of being able to do that. I'm sure that was disappointing to you. Could have spoiled a few people's pit strategy if you could have stretched it just another lap.
I think I lacked a bit too much time. Like, we needed really cold weather for me to make that extra lap. No way in these conditions I could do that. But yeah, you know me. I always try to mess with people and their strategy.
Well, congratulations again, Sven. Another win. Can't do more than that for your championship hopes. So congratulations. That's Sven Dimmel, your winner tonight.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
So some great racing that we saw tonight, Mr. Derby. It came down to, the final corner. I don't think we can ask for more than that.
No, a good race and good racing all the way to the end is the best that you can hope for, right?
Right. That's why I come here to watch them every Sunday, and I hope that's why everyone tunes in. This is some of the best racing you'll see. So come back next week when the boys will be in the DW12s up at Pocono.
Oh, that's going to be a hot one.
All right. So for Michael Derby, I'm Alex Albert, and this is HJBC covering the RIL, and we'll talk to you next week. Mahalo.